All right, so starting in Shavasana today, you guys, we've reached near the end of our journey of the yamas and the niyamas. So we've come to the last niyama, which is Ishvara pranidhana, which means surrender, which I cannot see a better time to revisit this niyama and this practice. And so I'm very meaningfully and mindfully choosing for you to start in Shavasana. The yoga posture called Shavasana or corpse pose is a posture for practicing surrender. Putting ourselves on our backs with our arms and legs stretched out from the body signifies the death of the activity we have just participated in. It is also a practice for the ultimate surrender. In Shavasana, there is nothing for us to do. We are asked to just lie there, releasing any tension in our bodies, letting go of effort, and trusting that the breath will breathe us and the body will renew itself. Sounds easy, right? But it's not. This practice of Shavasana is one of the most important practices we can do. For it is here that we begin to learn the meaning of letting go of all the ways we physically and mentally fight with life. So, starting to deepen the breath here in your Shavasana, letting the eyes close and be restful. Your mind will inevitably wander, and see what you can allow yourself to surrender today. What can you let go? What is potentially out of your control that you can release and instead focus on what you can control? Some of which being that breath, being present, and being grateful. And I'll have you bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly for another 5 deep rounds of breath here, connecting with that heartbeat, connecting with the flow of the breath all the way into the belly. And with each exhale, almost it's a sensation rather than an actual motion, but knowing that you're able to control with hands to push all that does not serve you out as we push that exhale out. So letting the hands be heavy, let the elbows fall down to the ground, let the shoulders release, and just take 5 more deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, you're just gonna sweep the arms up over the head. Come to stretch from fingertips to toes. Stretch so much that that lower back starts to lift up off the mat. Feel the shoulders ground into the shoulder blades, just taking a little movement here. And then you're gonna bring the arms and legs over to the right side. So we're coming into what's called crescent moon pose. So that right hand grabs the left wrist, just to kind of, it's like a little side bend on the left side of the body. So we're curving to the right, even if it's just a little bit. Deep inhale, come back to center. Bring the hands and legs over to the left side. Left hand grabs the right wrist. Little crescent moon pose. And then inhale, coming back to center. Take that nice stretch out. And as you exhale, curve and round into that tight ball. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale, expand, lengthen, exhale, curve and round. Inhale, exhale. Staying right here in that tight ball, drop the head down to the ground. Open the arms out to a T and bring the knees to a 90-degree angle. So knees are over hips. Slowly let the knees drop over to the right-hand side, trying to keep the shoulders pressed down as much as they can. Inhale through center. Exhale, let the knees fall over to the opposite side. Inhale through center. Exhale, knees come down. So we're engaging the core. As we inhale the knees up, keep that core engaged. Let the knees drop over. Inhale, come back through center. Bring the right knee into the chest. Extend that left leg out nice and far. Heel is, our foot is flexed. Toes point up to the sky, and it's so active that that left heel might stay off the mat. Inhale, switch legs. So like really like you're pedaling a bicycle, really push out through that right foot as it comes around and down. Inhale, we're gonna switch. So left leg goes forward, right knee comes in. Exhale, switch. Inhale, switch. You can keep the shoulders on the ground here, or you might lift the shoulders up, engaging the core, but keep the engagement in the core, not in the neck. So just try to lengthen your neck, relax in the shoulders. Just gonna go through a couple more little bicycles here. Really active through the heel, like you're pushing through like a stiletto heel. Inhale, exhale, and lower the shoulders down. If they're up, bring the knees into the chest, rock side to side. And then we're gonna rock up to seated. So you can take a couple rocks back and forth if that feels good for you. You can take one more. And coming to the top. So from here, we're gonna come into our boat pose, and we'll go in stages. But if you have a boat pose in your practice and you wanna take a little more time there, you can do that as well. So sitting nice and tall, from the crown of your head, imagining someone's pulling a string up here, and sitting, rooting down through the hips, leaning back slightly, starting to lift one knee and the other knee. So just tapping, inhale, exhale with your own breath. All right, you can stay right here, or you can start to play with tapping your toes up and down. Hands are still under the knees. Okay, and maybe you play with them going back to one, and then both. Maybe this is where you stay. Then maybe you can lift both feet up, release the hands. Holding here, zipping the thighs together, zipping the legs together, keeping those feet pointed. Chest is lifting, heart is opening. Deep inhale here. Exhale, bring the legs down to the ground, open up to butterfly, opening the hips here. You can choose if you want to have your heels pulled in real tight to open that inner thigh, inner hip here, or you can make it nice and open like a diamond shape. Either way, we'll inhale nice flat back, and then as you exhale, lowering the heart down towards the ground, releasing the neck and head, and then allowing the lower back to, the spine to curve and round. Inhale, rolling back up little by little. We'll cross over the ankles, coming into your tabletop posture. Coming into really pushing the hands away, little micro bend in the elbows, tucking of the tailbone, engagement of that core, picturing that belly button to spine, and then pushing into the tops of the feet, or you can tuck the toes. Inhale, drop the belly, looking up. Exhale, curve and round cat. Moving through with your own breath. Two more rounds. Maybe closing the eyes here. Slowing the breath down. Coming back to that neutral spine. We're gonna inhale that right leg up, flex the foot, point the toes down. Take an inhale here as you look up, and as you exhale, curving around, try to bring that knee up as high as you can. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Engage your core, really pull it up. Maybe invite that left hand in if it feels okay for you. Go left hand, right leg. 2 more. Last one. We're gonna inhale, lengthen it out. Left hand can come down. Kick that right leg around to the side. Drop the toes down. So now your toes are pointing the same way as your hands. And that edge of your foot, you're really actively pushing into that so that you get to stretch all the way up through the outer edge of your leg. You're gonna inhale that left hand up. So coming into kind of an awkward twist, keep pushing into that right hand. And then as you exhale, all the air out, let that shoulder come down to the ground, rest the head. You can keep that right hand right here, or you can walk those fingers forward, or you can bring that hand up, or you might tuck that hand back behind the hip. Lots of options. Wherever you're at, just make sure you're releasing the head, the neck. You're not holding any tension there. There's tension or just effort in the core to be pushing that leg away while not rolling all the way back. So you're pushing, there's a little resistance there. One more deep breath. Exhale, we'll bring that hand back in front of the face, and then inhale, spiral all the way up. Exhale, both hands back down. We'll take it to the other side. So lift that left leg up, nice and long. Opening up. Exhale, curving around. Really pull that knee into the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe adding in that right arm if you want a little extra balance and core work here. Totally optional. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Last one here. Inhale it out. Drop that hand. Left foot comes around and drop it down. Push into that left edge of the foot. Feel that nice stretch along the outer leg. Now push firmly into that left hand as you inhale. Really peel the heart open. It's a tricky twist. You're going to feel it in your left side body. As you exhale, thread the needle down. Take your time here. Drop the shoulder, drop the head, drop the ear down. But keep pushing into that left foot there. All right? From here, you can choose where you want that left hand to go. If you want it forward, up, tuck back. But keep pushing into that left foot. Release the head, release the neck, release the shoulders. One more deep breath. Inhale, bringing that left hand back up and in front of the face. And then sweep all the way up to the top into that twist once more. Exhale, both hands down, both feet down. We're gonna tuck the toes and bring ourselves back into a down dog. Just briefly, we're gonna flow between down dog and our plank pose. So really think about making this sort of like a wave. So you lift up through the tiptoes and roll through the shoulders and come forward. And then you lift through the hips and push it back. Try to make it a really fluid motion if you can. We're gonna go for 3 more. So really think about your hips leading this action. We're gonna take 1 more round into plank. And exhale, lift those hips, push it back. Now that you're here, we're gonna pedal out the feet, work into those calves, maybe open the hips a little bit. Take any movement that feels good for a few rounds of breath here. All right, we're gonna come to the front of our mat. So we'll inhale to the toes, exhale to the front. Inhale, half lift. We're gonna stay here for a little bit. So really, you can bend the knees as much as you need to. We're gonna inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bring the crown towards the ground. We're gonna do this 2 more times. Inhale, half lift. See if you can feel that wave through your spine again. Exhale, lead with the heart. Fold down. Tuck the chin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring it all the way up to the top. Palms come together. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna pause here. Bring the thumbs to the sternum, close the eyes. Reconnect with that intention. What can you release that no longer serves? What can you surrender to so that you can stay here with the breath and be present? Coming into our Surya Namaskar, we'll take 3 rounds. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back, maybe drop the knees, lower yourself all the way down. Push the shoulder blades together, inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Pushing yourself maybe through the knees or up through push-up, back to downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. You use this posture to truly surrender here. Rather than looking around or thinking, connect with that breath and that intention. Inhale to the toes, exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, crown to the ground. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Round 2. Inhaling up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back. Lower it down, maybe adding in that chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, push it back. Downward facing dog, 3 deep breaths. Next, inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale, step walker, float. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep fold, crown to the ground. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 3rd and final round here. Take it with your own breath at your own pace. Make it your own. Taking those 3 deep breaths. Take your time to complete that 3rd round, and as you do, just coming to a mountain pose. Shoulders away from the ears, hands to heart center, pushing into the palms, feet together, growing those roots down from the 4 corners of the feet. Little tuck of the chin to feel nice and tall. Feel the heartbeat, feel the breath flow. We'll come to flow together, inhaling the arms up, reaching nice and tall. Exhale, hinge, diving down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back to your plank. Lower yourself down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, lift through the hips. Push the hips back, coming into downward facing dog. So we'll come into our hip opening series. So we're gonna inhale that right leg up, coming into three-legged dog. Pause here for a full deep breath. Let that left heel sink down, stretch that left calf. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring the knee towards the chest, curve and round the spine, step it in between the hands. You can stay nice and low here, or you can lower that back knee. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Moving with your own breath here, either up on the foot or down on the knee. Either way, we're just working on stretching through the hamstring, through all the muscles around our hips. That front hip flexor on the left leg. So the sort of yoga science says that we store a lot of emotions in our hips. So this is sort of like a cleansing start of the yoga practice, and the reason why I like to always make sure we spend some time here. Let's straighten both legs. Bring ourselves around to the middle of our mat, opening our feet nice and wide. Point the toes in slightly towards you, so the heels are a little further out. Inhale, half lift. And then as you exhale, just trying to fold, release, maybe working towards getting those forearms down to the mat. Releasing the neck, releasing the head. Taking a couple deep breaths here. You could also bring the hands to the ankles, or you can reach the hands through if you're trying to bring the head down. Next, inhale, we'll bring the hands in front. Come to that flat back. We're gonna plant the left hand right in front of our face and inhale that right hand up to the sky. So taking a little moment for a twist here. Bringing out the spine. Gaze can come up to that right thumb if it feels okay on the neck. Slowly switching hands, right hand comes down. Inhale, left hand up. Bringing that left hand slowly back down, and then we're gonna take it to the back of our mat over our left leg. So same thing, other side. Inhaling to open the heart, sink into that right hip flexor. And then as you exhale, push the hips back. Keep the hips, knee, ankle all in a line. Get the legs as straight as you can. And then flowing with your own breath. Feel free to pause in either one of these if it feels like you could use a little bit more stretch in one more than the other. Take the time to maybe notice a little bit more today. What is effort and what is strain? So we want to put forth effort in our practice, but we don't want to strain ourselves physically or really even mentally. So if we have to fight ourselves mentally to get into a pose that feels like it's beyond effort and is moving into strain, just be mindful of that and listen to your body. Let's come into those straight legs. Bring ourselves back around to the center. This time, maybe you can heel toe the feet open a little bit more. Bring yourself to that flat back. You might stay right here, or you can lower yourselves down to the forearms. Keep breathing there. Taking any arm variation of your choice. Sinking it down, a couple more deep breaths. Release the neck, shake it out. Bringing the hands back to center. Inhale. Now we're going to take this twist a little bit deeper this time. But you can do the same thing we just did. So you can either have your left hand right in front of your face, or if it's available, you're gonna try to bring your left hand all the way over to your right ankle or your right calf, and then open up the twist. So you can choose if you wanna keep the hand on the ground under the face, or if you wanna try to take it a little bit deeper. One more deep breath here. Slowly bring it down to the other side. So now right hand, left ankle, or calf. One more deep breath. And then coming back to center, lengthen the back nice and tall. Come back over that right leg, step it back, push back, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, maybe just lift a leg here. See how the hips feel. We just worked them pretty good on opening them. Now let's just drop the knees down for a moment, coming into a quick child's pose. I'll give two options here. You can come into child's pose, or you can come into puppy pose too. So keeping the hips over the knees, dropping the heart down to the ground, either bringing the chin or the forehead down. This one is great for opening up the shoulders and the chest. And then we'll slowly bring ourselves back up to down dog, coming into our standing flow. So inhale, right leg rises, coming into that three-legged dog for a full breath. And then as you exhale, you're gonna bring the knee towards the nose, move it forward, step it down. We're gonna come up into our high lunge. So lifting ourselves up, get that back leg as straight as you can, trying to get the heel over the pad of your foot, and then getting knee over ankle in front here. It's very sunny behind me today, so I'll do my best verbal cues possible. You're gonna lift the arms up to the sky if that feels okay. You can always have hands at heart center if you need to. We're just gonna take a little bit of flow for a little added hip opener. So we're inhaling here. As we exhale, we're gonna sink down a little bit and open up to cactus arms. So it's not a full lunge. This knee, my back knee isn't bending. I'm just sinking down a bit. So inhale up, exhale down. I'm really just bending into my front knee a little bit deeper. Inhale up, last one here. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale the arms up. You're gonna drop the back heel down. So we're in warrior one now rather than that high lunge. Take a moment to see if you still have those hips pointing forward. Typically when we drop that back leg, we start to open up to the side. You might take your stance a little bit shorter and then really try to straighten that back leg and bring those hips forward. If you engage this left glute, it'll really help you push those hips forward. Right knee over right ankle. We're gonna inhale the arms back behind us. Exhale, interlace the fingers, open up the heart. So we're interlocked back here. If this does not feel great for you, you can also just grab opposite arm here. So we're working on opening this heart area, chest area. Inhale, if it's available for you, you're gonna just lean back a little bit, open up the heart, and then exhale, we're coming into humble warrior. So bowing forward. You've got a couple options. If this doesn't feel good with the hands interlaced, you can bring the hands down to the ground. You can also kind of put the body on top of that leg a little bit, if that helps you here. Or if it's available, you can try to get down a little bit lower so that you get your right shoulder inside that right knee. And then you want to try to bring the palms together, not just letting the wrist splay, but really try to bring the palms close. One more deep breath here. As you inhale, feel like I'm pulling that fist up and back, open all the way. Arms are gonna come up. Exhale, hands down. Step it back to plank. You can either push back to down dog here, or you can flow through your vinyasa. Once we're there, we'll take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, now that left leg rises up. One full breath here. Then exhale, bring the knee into the chest, curve and round. Step that left foot forward. Prepare for your high lunge. Firing up that back leg, getting it as straight as you can, and trying to get this knee over ankle. Inhale the arms up overhead, but keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. Now keeping that back leg super fired up, we're just taking little like dips, we'll call them, not lunges, into that front knee. And you're opening up to cactus arms, okay? So inhale here, exhale. Feel the heart open, really activate the shoulder blades. Inhale up, nice and slow. Exhale, with control. Inhale up, fire up that back leg. Exhale, dip it down. Inhale it up. Now we're gonna drop that back heel down, but check in with the hips. You might need to shorten that stance or widen it. Then we're gonna inhale the arms out, exhale them back together. Put the opposite thumb on top if you're interlocking, or grab elbow. Inhale, bring the hands down to reverse and open the heart. Exhale, engage the core. Bring yourself forward into humble warrior. Push the palms together. Fire up that back leg, drop the head and neck, gaze goes back to that right big toe. Take your version of your humble warrior, looking for just the right amount of effort not to come into strain. Inhale, lift yourself all the way back up, arms splash up. Exhale, hands come down, step yourself back to plank, either push back or flow. We're gonna walk the hands back to the feet and take a wide-legged stance, so almost the width of your mat. And then we're gonna sink the hips down, coming into Malasana. All right, so coming into yogi squat. All right, you can keep the hands on the ground here if you need to, and you can stay on the tiptoes if you need to. Either way, you're still gonna be opening the hips further. If you can take the hands off the ground, you're gonna bring the hands into prayer so that you can push into the elbows and lengthen the spine and sit nice, as tall as you possibly can. You can stay right here. We're gonna add in a little twist. So you bring the left hand down and around. So you're opening up the chest, and then inhale the right hand up to the sky. Coming back down, we'll switch sides. Bring that right arm out to the side. Inhale the left hand up. Gaze can follow the thumb if it feels right on the neck. And then coming back to center one last time. Push into the elbow, sit nice and tall. We'll all bring our hands down and then push ourselves up. Straightening the legs, heel toe, the feet back together. Coming into that forward fold. We'll walk the hands back down into our downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet for a moment here. Inhale that right leg up. This time we're gonna open the hips, so let the heel drop down towards the bum. Point that right knee up to the sky. Take a deep breath here. And then exhale, bring it forward. Step in between the hands. Bring yourself up, we're just adding on. Coming into that high lunge. Fire up that back leg. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, dip it down. Inhale it up. Really imagine like you're pulling something down. Engage the shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale it back up. Drop that back heel down. Bring the hands back behind us. Maybe interlace the fingers or grab opposite elbow. This time we're gonna see if we can take this back bend a little bit deeper. But before we do that, really engage the core. Think about tucking that tailbone and then grab those fists Inhale, work that fist down the back leg. Exhale, coming forward. Maybe you can come a little bit deeper. The full expression of this pose, you have your head all the way on the ground, believe it or not. So we're really working on letting the crown fall as much as it can and looking back at that left big toe. One more deep breath here. Use that next inhale to bring yourself all the way up. Bring the hands up. Now from here, we're going to come into a balancing pose, our warrior three. So we're mentally preparing the mind. And I just want to point out, you're doing this at home, right? And if your warrior three today wants to have some wall action in it, you have the choice to do that. I really like doing warrior three on the wall because it helps me really focus on getting that leg out straight, getting my hips squared, and it just feels really good. So if you want that to be your warrior three today, go for it. If it's available for you to play with that balance a little bit more, we'll come into warrior three, taking your arm variation of choice. So hands to heart center, maybe hands at the airplane, or hands can be on the ground or on the wall. We're gonna take 2 more deep breaths. You got this. Make that nice, that foot behind really flexed and active. Inhale, exhale, coming back into that warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the ground, step it back, flow or not to. Downward facing dog, inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, left leg rises. Open the hip, let the heel drop back towards the bum, point the knee up. Deep inhale. Exhale, transitioning forward. Step that foot in between the hands. Come up to your high lunge. Fire up that back leg. Inhale, arms up. Little dips into that front knee. Deep inhale here. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale it up. Exhale, dip it down. Should feel a really good stretch in that front hip flexor. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Last time, inhale up. Drop your back heel, coming into warrior one. So you might notice that this warrior one is starting to feel like, oh yeah, the hips are really forward now. We're just opening up that hip flexor and making that more possible. Bring the arms back behind. Do the awkward interlace. Inhale, open the heart. Let those hands travel down. Exhale, humbly bowing forward. Drop the head, the neck, left shoulder to left inner knee. Gazing back at that big toe. One more deep breath. Inhale, peel yourself all the way back up. Arms come up to the top. Preparing for our warrior three. Maybe moving to the wall. Prepare for your variation. Coming forward. Getting that back hip square, toes pointed down. So many options. Make it your own. 2 more deep breaths here. Next, inhale, slowly lowering back down into that warrior one. Arms come up. Exhale, hands come down, framing the foot. Step it back or flow. Tuck the toes, push it back. Downward facing dog. Dropping the knees. Coming into either child's pose or puppy pose. So if you want to continue that heart and chest opening, but get that break, you can come into puppy pose here. Take a couple deep breaths. Maybe even come to puppy for a little bit, and then walk it back to child's, or vice versa. Surrender, release. So we'll come into one more standing round. You are welcome to stay and surrender into that child's pose or that puppy pose. We'll basically do very similarly, but we'll work on moving from our humble warrior with a little bit more of a flow into that warrior three. And you can do the exact same thing we just did and keep it kind of broken up. We'll try to move with a little bit more fluidity in this third and final round though. All right, so if you'd like to join this third and final round, we'll come up into our downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg up to the sky, opening the hip, pointing our knee up. You can hold it right here. We're gonna offer a little bit of extra core work here. So we're gonna exhale, bring that knee to the right tricep or elbow. Inhale it up. Exhale, bring it across the body for a tap. Inhale it up. Exhale, we'll all come forward, stepping in between the hands, bringing ourselves up for that high lunge. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, sink it down. Fire up that back leg as straight as you can. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. On the inhales, bringing that heel back down. Exhale, bring the hands back around, interlocking our opposite elbow. Inhale, open. Exhale, hinging down to our humble warrior. One full deep breath here. Inhale all the way up. Maybe exhale straight into warrior three, keeping those hands interlaced. Obviously, you can take any warrior three option here you want. 2 more deep breaths. We're gonna slowly lower ourselves back down. Maybe you can keep those hands interlaced for 1 more deep back bend. Exhale, release the hands, coming to frame that foot, step it back or flow. Downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, left side. So we raise up, open that hip, drop the heel, point the knee. Maybe staying right here, maybe take it in and tap that left elbow. Inhale it up. Exhale, bring it across. Inhale it up. Exhale, we'll all come to step through. Slowly bring ourselves up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, dip with the cactus arms. Fire up that back leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen, drop that back heel. Exhale, bring the hands back behind. Opposite, awkward interlock. Inhale, open. Exhale, hinge, bow down. Look back at that right toe. Inhale, exhale. Next inhale, peel yourself all the way back up, preparing for warrior three. Exhale, transition into your warrior three. Toes pointed down, back leg fired up, super strong standing leg. Try not to kink the neck, make it an extension of the spine. 2 more deep breaths. You got this. Next inhale, slowly with control, lowering down. 1 last back bend here, open it up. Exhale, hands down, last flow. Downward facing dog. We're gonna inhale that right leg up. Exhale, bring it forward for pigeon. Scoot those left toes back. Inhale, open the heart. You can stay right here if you're getting a great stretch already in the right hip and glute. Maybe lower it down to the forearms. Maybe you can lower it down to stack fists, or all the way down onto the palms. We'll stay here for 10 full breaths. So with each inhale, see if you can lengthen your spine a bit more. And with each exhale, if you can release and let it go. Surrender. Try to release all those tiny muscles in that right hip and glute area. We got 5 more deep breaths. Next inhale, we're going to bring ourselves up. Just taking that back bend once more. So opening up like we're doing a bit of a cobra here. You find your intensity of effort, avoiding strain, and then slowly release. So you can come back maybe into down dog or just sweep that left leg around. Taking it to the other side. Left leg comes forward, work those right toes back. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, lowering down. Take your time and be gentle. One side is often different than the other. Deep breaths. Surrender and release. Three more deep breaths here. Next, inhale, slowly bring yourself up. Come into that little bit of cobra onto the fingertips. Open the heart. Exhale, push yourself back, downward facing dog. One final down dog here. Pedal it out. See how it feels compared to those first down dogs of our practice. And then you can come down onto the knees. We're going to come into our inversion practice. So if you'd like to move to a wall, you're welcome to. I'm going to cue us for headstand today, but if you want to take a shoulder stand, or if you want to take just legs up the wall, of course, you're always welcome to do whatever suits you. So we've been working a little bit on a tripod headstand, which is where we have our hands on the ground like so. And the next handstand is just sort of the traditional handstand, or it's supported headstand. I'm sorry, I said handstand, I meant headstand. You basically bring your hands interlocked together like they're holding hands. And then you place this on the back of your head, and you're basically hugging your head in, and your head is pushing back, creating some resistance there. Your elbows will form a triangle. So it should look kind of like an equilateral triangle. You don't want them out too far or in too close, so look for that space there. From here, just like we've done before in the tripod, you're gonna put you're really cradling your head. So the crown touches, but the whole back of your head, I'll show you, is cradled by my hands, okay? And then I find that perfect sort of triangular thing, and then I really push into the forearms and get my shoulders away from the ears. So once we have that cradling going on, we're gonna tuck the toes and just come into this sort of modified down dog. All right, and you can stay right there if you want. You can also try coming back into tripod if that feels more comfortable for you. I find this headstand to be more accessible than tripod though, so play with it. And then you walk the toes towards the face till you try to get the hips over the shoulders, and then you can play with lifting a leg. So maybe you just stay here today, lift a leg, keep pushing into the forearms, and then if it's available, you kind of use this leg as a little spring to bring yourself up. Doesn't need that much push if you've really got the feet close to the face. And you can hang tight here, pushing into the forearms. My hands are pulling into the back of my head to really cradle and support my head. Yes, the crown of my head is like another limb. And then I have my feet up the wall and my heels are touching the wall for support, but I can play with lifting my feet away from the wall. And I want to just keep pushing into the forearms and engaging my shoulders away from my ears. Once you're there, trying to take at least another 5 breaths. Or so you can come down whenever it feels like you need to. But to really reap the benefits of the inversion, you try to stay at least 10 or upwards 15, 20 breaths. I read an article recently that says you should try to invert yourself for 15 minutes a day. But we invert when we do down dog, that's an inversion. We invert when we do Uttasana or forward fold. All right, we're slowly coming down if we haven't already, and just taking a child's pose or a child's pose with stacked hands to let all of the neck and the spine completely release after that bit of compression. Just taking a few more deep breaths here. And then slowly working your way back to come to lay on your back on the mat. Slide us back over here. So we're coming onto the mat, onto our backs. We'll have the knees bent. And from here, we're just gonna sway our head side to side. You can close the eyes. And just take your time. Just another little release after our inversion here. And we'll come into our bridge pose as our back bend here. So we'll plant the hands down. We're gonna do 3 rounds of bridge. First round, really basic. We're just pushing the lower back into the mat. So it's a really tiny movement. You can hardly see me do it, but I'm pushing my lower back, engaging my core, and tucking my tailbone. From there, I'm gonna lift the hips up, push into the hands and the forearms, push into my feet, and keep my gaze straight up. Maybe you can lift the hips a little bit higher. And then slowly just lower down as you bring the hips towards the heels. That's just kind of like our little warm-up bridge. All right, same thing, push the lower back in, inhale the hips up, work the hands together, get the elbows underneath, the shoulders underneath you. Maybe you can interlock the hands, and this just helps you bring it up a little bit higher. Push into the feet, keep the knees over the ankles. Deep breaths into the belly. One more deep breath. Slowly release the hands, untuck the shoulders, bring the hips back towards the heels, and then we'll just windshield wiper the knees left and right a little bit. This third and final round, you can do the exact same thing as either 2 options we've already done, or we'll come into supported bridge, so stacking our forearm into like a shelf for our hips. A more surrender-esque back bend. All right, so tucking that lower back, deep inhale, lift the hips up, work the shoulders underneath, all right? Then I'm coming to the tiptoes so I can lift one hip and the other to tuck. Then I'm gonna let the heels fall down. Now I'm pushing into my hands to protect my wrists. Then I'm just breathing. My knees are gonna stay over my ankles instead of letting them fall out or in. Gaze is up or eyes are closed. 3 more deep breaths. Slowly come back to the tiptoes. Release one arm and the other, then let the bum sink towards the heels. Windshield wiper left to right. We're going to go ahead and then bring the hands to the kneecaps and just circle the knees in one direction. Circle the knees in the opposite direction. And then we'll bring the knees into the chest, maybe even lift the head, come into a tight ball. Oh, it feels good. And then let the knees fall over to one side. Don't worry, we'll do both. Have the knees at that 90-degree angle. It'll give you the best deep twist. And then bring that opposite hand out. Bring the gaze to that opposite hand. You might even use that hand over here to hold this knee down and try to push the shoulders down. Calming the mind with the breath, starting to mentally prepare for a posture of surrender. We'll inhale through center, take the twist to the other side. Stacking the knees at that 90-degree angle, gazing out over the opposite direction of the knees. Two more deep breaths here. All right, slowly bringing the knees back to center, taking about 30 seconds or 10 breaths of any last postures. Maybe you want to take a butterfly or a happy baby or a shoulder stand, any last postures. Make it your own. Just keep moving with the breath. Maybe you're already ready to come into that Shavasana. So take whatever that body is calling out for. And as you come into that posture of Shavasana, just making sure we're fully surrendering. So releasing the toes, releasing the ankles, releasing the calves, all the muscles around the knee, all the way up into the quads, back around the glutes, all over the hips, releasing the core in the abdomen, letting that breath return to a natural state, letting the chest and shoulders fall down, melting into the mat, and releasing all the way out to the fingertips. Releasing around the neck, the jaw, letting the tongue go. Release your eyes, all the tiny muscles in the face, around the ears, all the way up to the crown of the head. And just let yourself totally surrender. Use the breath, use the intention to be present and honor this final posture. Surrender invites us to be active participants in our life, totally present and fluid with each moment.
while appreciating the magnitude and mystery of what we are participating in. Ultimately, this guideline invites us to surrender our egos, open our hearts, and accept the higher purpose of our being. Slowly begin to deepen your breath, inviting tiny movements into fingers and toes. Inhaling the arms up overhead, stretching from toes to fingertips. And as you exhale, bending the knees, falling onto either side, coming into the first posture our bodies ever knew. Taking a moment here to find gratitude for something or someone in your life that fills every cell of your body with joy. And as you're ready, bring yourself up to a comfortable seated posture. Bringing the palms to heart center, sitting nice and tall. Beginning to rub hands together, creating heat and energy. And we'll transfer this energy over our eyes. May we use this energy to see the beauty within our souls and within all the world that surrounds us. Bringing our hands back together. This time placing this energy over our ears. May we use this energy to hear positive thoughts about ourselves and others and our world. Bringing the palms together one last time. Transferring this energy over our heart. May we use this energy to completely surrender to what is before us, what is behind us, and what lays in front of us. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling the hands down to heart center. Namaste.